this is John Lamping, and he's going to talk about, he's got an opinion about property.
Let's say you want to make a spreadsheet of Chinese restaurants, right? I mean, what's more appropriate for programmers? And a spreadsheet has a place for everything in its place, right? Which is how you think about data structures. They're like places to put information. I'm going to argue against that, and I'm going to argue about property. Let's kind of go away from that. So here it looks lovely. But then, Shao Mountain opened another location. So you really want to be able to say, oh, it's in Fremont and it's one in San Jose. So your sort of spreadsheet broke. And then, a new food truck opened up for most of the streets. And it's in San Jose, but only on Thursdays, because it moves around. And then, let's add another column. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I forgot to say that was, when I first put that in, I didn't say it was Thursday was a day. I sort of forgot to mention that. But, I can add that afterwards, of course. Now, we want to put, of course, stuff about what they have. So, mushu, pork, and lover's prawns. But then, lover's prawns are one of my favorite things. So, let's make a new column. Oh, by the way, that's the first thing I ever had at Chef Choose. Make a new column, which is my favorites. And let's move lover's prawns over there. But now, of course, favorites are actually menu items. So I really shouldn't have that be, right? So I want to say, OK, I'm going to do this by hand because it's kind of magic. Whoops. I'm going to say favorites is a menu item. It says, OK. So those are both menu items. So it recognizes the hierarchy and then says, here's your favorites. And then I said, actually, I don't want to have a separate column for that. So let's just get rid of that column. It says, OK. I remember lover's prawn was your favorites, so it's going to mark that. So the idea is don't have a place for everything, right? Just let things kind of be able to say what you want. So then the question is, what does that look like from a data structure point of view? And so normally property lists or dictionaries, if you're Python or whatever, right, is basically key value, right? It's, again, this notion of a thing for a place. So what if instead we flip it around? So ID 1, let's say, is this restaurant. And we know it's Chef Choose and we know it's Los Altos. But we haven't said kind of what columns they go in. So rather than having a key for that, we just, whoops, yeah. Anything that you say, you can put more information on. And since it's listable, you put a parenthesis on it and put more stuff on there. So we say, well, Chef Choose is a restaurant and Los Altos is the location. And then we can add extra stuff. By the way, it's Chef Choose, not Chef Shoes, which is a half a block the other way. And it's actually a better place to go in any case. But now, this not Chef Shoes should be a comment, whereas that Chef Choose is kind of like the label. So how do we lose? We lost track of that. Oh, well, of course, just add more information. So we'll say that restaurant and location are a tag, which means they're going to show up in blue, right? But they're no different really from not Chef Choose, except we just mark them as, format them specially. And then we can put more stuff in, and Lover's Prawns now has 2 tags, right? It's both favorite menu item and favorite, right? So basically, by not having it be, place value, by just putting the extra information on where something goes, so any piece of data can say where it goes, we can say whatever we want. And we can put in more stuff. For example, the order here is not significant. So if you want to know what the ordering is, you add more information about the order. You say, well, this, mushu pork comes first and lover's prawn comes second. And we tag that as order, so we know that's what the order is. And by the way, we don't want to show that to the user explicitly, so we tag it as non-semantic, saying don't bother showing it to the user. And then a small meta programming turns that into what you see. And so now you're not limited by a place for things. Instead, things stay where they are. And Arthur's getting nervous, so I'll stop there.
You have 1 minute.
I yield my remaining minute to the floor.
So that demo, is it demo or is that just a series of slides?
No, that's demo. Would you,
It's a pretty cool looking system hiding behind there. What is it?
so it's trying to be this, a place where you can put sort of arbitrary information.
No, I understand that, but I mean the code. Is it?
Oh, Clojure. It's Clojure it's Clojure on the server side currently, which basically is doing dependency tracking and querying a little database to like what I showed you.
Something that you wrote?
Yeah.
And is it available?
Well, the code is available. Cosheet is the project name in GitHub. Yeah, collaborative sheet kind of thing. It's changing. It's got all sorts of horrible stuff. But I do check in reasonably often.
That's very cool.
Thank you. There's all sorts of horrible stuff. But and of course, you can, since it's Lisp, you can put comments on titles, whatever you want to do. So yeah, for the demo, I just did all this stuff, did an undo. I've been doing redo during the talk. I figured it was the fastest way to do it. I added undo last week, so why not?
Not that this is a real thought-through question, but how does this vary from JSON, which allows you to attach things all over the place?
JSON is still basically a hierarchy. It's still basically, your standard list. And obviously, my thing is a hierarchy, but it's a little bit backwards in that you don't have key value. It's value and stuff about the value. And that just gives you a lot more flexibility in the end. Uh-huh.
Can this be thought of in some way as tabular data? Like, is there some way to unfold it so that now A is a column and favorites is a column, like as a cube or something? Or is this there's a square of data and then kind of irregular stuff going on?
It's not committed to being a square. Sorry. So the question is this a square, or is it really kind of? So it's not a square. It's just stuff with facts about it, arbitrary. So one of the things I want to be able to add is a query which says, don't show me anything that's qualified by a day unless it's today. And that can work down. That's not implemented currently, but that's kind of part of the idea. So underneath it looks very much like what I was showing you in the Emacs. It's just a triple store of saying, here's a value, it pertains to that, and here's the idea of it pertaining to that. And then other things can point more IDs into that. Can you query this? Yeah. So this demo actually underneath probably has about, a couple hundred queries running against the database. So when something changes, it knows kind of what to do. The query language right now is totally general, but if you do anything at all fancy, it scans the entire database. But that's another couple of weeks. I just haven't.
So one day if you feel like eating at the restaurant where they have the best well-known soup, it happens to be not on your screen right now, how do you find the restaurant?
Right. So the idea is you will have a template which says, I'm looking for a thing which has this shape to it. Please find me all those guys, and then show them to me. That's the goal. Where it goes slowly, and then I do consulting sometimes. That takes time away.